Namaskar. I am Professor Bharat Gupt here at Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, and I have the great pleasure today of interviewing Professor Ramachandra Nagasawamy, who is one of the most eminent epigraphists, archaeologists, and a great savant who has spent a lifetime in the study of Indian iconography. Welcome to the studio of Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, sir.
Thank you.
And I have the pleasure of putting certain questions to you about subjects which are very widely discussed, but about which people often have certain distorted notions. I would like to ask you, sir, to say something very specific and enlightening about the relationship between Sanskrit and ancient or classical Tamil. Because mostly people think that the origin as well as the promotion and the expanse of these two languages has been very different. That Sanskrit is the northern language, as people say, of the invading Aryans and so forth, and Tamil comes from an entirely different root and region, and both had a different trajectory. About that, and talk about the relationship between these two languages.
The Tamil is the most ancient classical language of India.
Right, sir.
And Tamil means sweet, beautiful. So, from the very beginning of historical period, we have beautiful poetry that goes back to 1st century BC to 2nd century AD. And we have a large collection of poems, more than 2,800 poems in Tamil from that period onwards, which we call historical period. From the very beginning, we see that there is no difference in outlook or cultural output in these poems. They are always with the one Indian concept, one culture, which is reflected in this collection of 2,800. The language has developed and it has imbibed the incoming Sanskrit tradition continuously for the past 2,000 years. In the earliest period, as I told you, out of 2,800 poems, we have two parts. One part is called the Aham poetry.
Right, sir.
The other part is called Puram poetry. Aham means what is known in Sanskrit parlance, Sringara, and Puram means external activity. Now, it can be compared to what we call Kama. Aham means Kama, Sringara, and Puram represents Dharma and Artha. These are called Aram and Parul, Dharma and Artha.
So these are the two Purusharthas, as they have been called.
Purushartha. So that itself shows Dharma, Artha and Kama. Kama is the Aham poem.
Yes, Sringara.
Sringara. But this division into Aham and Puram is derived from what is seen in Natya Shastra.
I see.
Natya Shastra, at the beginning.
You mean, sir, that this division comes originally from the vision of the author of the Natya Shastra or the tradition?
Undoubtedly, because out of 2,800 poems, 2,300 poems represent aham poems. That is purely creative, imaginative poetry representing and pertaining to Kama, which is also called Inbam in Tamil. The other nearly 500 poems, they speak about the dharma and artha of the ruling kings, the people, the musicians, the dancers, and other aspects in the Puram collection.
Does that include war also, or activity of the state, the
Yes.
Puram?
It includes all. Activity of the state comes in the Purul part, that is Artha part. Dharma is the personal life, Artha is the life in the community, in the state. So we have these two groups. When I say that this is based on Natya Shastra, at the very beginning of Natya Shastra, we have Bharata telling Brahma that I am ready. I have taught my sons dance. I am ready to stage this drama. But I need Kaisiki Vritti.
Right.
Kaisiki Vritti, that is to attract the audience, which will interest the audience, which will appeal to all people, from children to old people, which will satisfy them. I need Kaisiki Vritti, which extols or represents
Shringara.
Sringara.
Right.
And that is the one which can be acted and portrayed in the dramatic performance by apsaras only,
Exactly.
the ladies.
Women.
So, more or less, exactly the same concept of Kaisiki Vritti and apsaras performing Sringara influences the aham poetry. So all the aham poems deal with only Sringara aspect, various emotional situations, bhavas, which are represented in aham poems. One interesting and important point is that the name of the hero and the name of the heroine should not be mentioned in the aham poetry.
I see. That is one of the conventions.
That is the convention. That is, it becomes universal. So the Sringara is not restricted to one living person, but it is a universal one with which it deals with. And so the vertical division of Tamil classical poems into aham and Puram
Puram.
is based on the beginning of what is said in Natya Shastra about Sringara and Artha and Dharma. We have historical data, not very few in aham poems, because they only speak about emotions, different bhavas which could end result will give what we call the Sringara Rasa, Rati. But Puram, as I said earlier, that it deals with Dharma and Artha. That's all these poems are put into two other type of classifications called 8 anthologies and 10 long poems. In the 8 anthologies we have Puram poems 400. This is called Pura Nanuru. Puram is 400, and other some more poems added to the Puram, whatever you call the theme, altogether it makes about 500. There we have the king's personal life, daily ritual, daily routine, how he observed the dharma, and how he enjoyed the music and dance of dancers.
His very cultured life.
Virali and Bana.
I see.
Bana
Bana.
singer and also a dancer.
I see.
Virali is also a singer and dancer. Bhana comes from the Sanskrit tradition.
Yes, the Natya Shastra mentions
Yeah.
the Bhana.
And in this Puram poetry, 400, we have the first poem addressed to one Chera ruler. This Chera ruler is praised as one of the greatest person who participated in the Mahabharata war. He is said to have fed both the parties, Kauravas and Pandavas, in the Mahabharata war. So already we are part and parcel of the
greatest envelopment of Indian culture.
Yeah. And then his personal qualities, he is said to have been the embodiment of the 5 bhutas, Pancha Mahabhutas. He is the embodiment of, as a king, which is described in Dharmasastras, and that is reflected in his personal quality.
So the Pural poems, when they describe the royal personage and his activities, they are in some way or the other reflecting the Dharma Shastra tradition, the Artha Shastra tradition, which is found,
And Kama Shastra.
and Kama Shastra as well, because
Yeah.
he is the Nagarik.
Yeah, which we call as Trivarga.
Right.
So, from the very beginning, we are one. From other parts of India, they are not separated in any way. And then it also refers to Nal Veda, 4 Vedas, and Veda Neri, that is Veda Marga. That's also mentioned in that first poem itself. Then there is an interesting...
The word Neri,
Neri is Marga.
Marga, is the same sense
Yes,
as the
Vaidika
word
Marga.
Marga.
it is Vaidika Marga. The other important point is very interesting, that in the Manu Dharma Shastra, he defines what is Aryavarta.
Right, sir.
Aryavarta, according to Manu, is south of India, which is bounded on the eastern side by Purva Sagara and the western side on the Paschima Sagara.
Right.
And in between, the whole country right up to Podil Hill, which is very near Kanyakumari, Cape
So
Common.
there is a mention of the hill,
Yes.
the Podinil hill.
Hill is the Podil Hill is the abode of Agastya,
Right.
where Agastya, when he went down,
Ah,
he is said to have stayed there, and he is said to have taught the Pandya rulers of that southern part of Tamil Nadu in both Sanskrit and Tamil.
I see.
So it is a specific reference in copper plate inscriptions.
And this mention of the hill is in Manusmriti, sir?
No, this Padiyal Hill is mentioned. The king is not mentioned in Manu Dharmasastra. He only defined this space as Aryavarta.
One of the corners of Aryavarta is this hill.
Yes. And
I see.
Aryavarta, where lot of yagas are performed, Vedic sacrifices are performed.
Yes.
And the black bug
Roams around.
roam about freely.
Right.
And this particular thing is mentioned in this first Tamil poem, where the black bug are said to come and sleep by the side of the Vedic sacrifices performed by the Brahmanas.
If I may interrupt you for a minute, then this general notion that the Krishna Mriga is only roaming around in the north is a wrong perception.
No, it is not. It's there in the earliest Tamil poem.
Exactly.
Where it is said that the Brahmanas are performing yaga, and in that sense they refer to from Himalayas to Podiyal Hills. So the concept of one large country is mentioned there, and it's not Manu's Dharmasastra doesn't divide the country on the basis of language. It was not divided on the basis of linguistic, but it's only on space. And so we have south of India and Eastern Ocean and Western Ocean and so on. So we have this great Puram poems. The first poem, which is ascribed to 1st century BC, that itself shows that there has been only one culture, both Sanskrit and Tamil living together. Living together. There is no separation, no
one
division.
large cultural entity in which there are several languages
Yes.
in action, and they are in different parts of India.
Yeah. When it comes to language, division of the space into language, then it says this Vengadam to Padiyal or Kumari. Vengadam, Kumari. Vengadam is modern Tirupati. Tirupati to Kumari was said to be the Tamil
country.
area.
I see.
It's called Tamil speaking area. Then we have ancient Tamil grammar, which is also assigned to for 2nd century AD, called Tolkappiyam.
Sir, if I may here ask a question, in classical Tamil, do you use the word Tamil or do you use the word Dramil?
Nowhere in classical Tamil we use the word Dramila. We always use Tamil. Tamil. The word Dramil or Dramila is used by non-Tamils to represent Tamil.
I see.
That is the
because the Natya Shastra uses it in the 17th chapter.
Yes, it means Tamil.
Yes, of course.
So non-Tamils
are using that word.
That word as Dramila.
Dramila.
Or
yes.
Dravida.
Yeah.
Dramida, Dravila.
Yes.
So we have the Tolkappiyam is an ancient grammar which also from the very beginning shows the impact of Natya Shastra in 2 or 3 specific what you call sutras. Tolkappiyam sutras they are called. There is one sutra which says you can use 4 different types of dialects. One is Iyal Tamil, that is the natural classical Tamil, Iyal Tamil. The second one is Disai Sol, Disa, different region. Different region means boundaries, so Disai Sol. Then Tirisol. Tirisol is equivalent to Prakrit Sol, which the word becomes slightly altered or
acquires another dialect kind of a
yes,
status.
It goes on changing.
Right.
And then the fourth one is Vadasol. Vadasol is Sanskrit and Prakrit. So the earliest Tamil grammar says in your poetry, composition or drama, whatever the case may be, you can use either Tamil, classical Tamil or spoken Tamil and or Sanskrit. All this could be used as per Tolkappiyam's prescription.
So Tolkappiyam also preserves the Natya Shastra vision of using many languages in a given text or for different performances.
Yes, Natya Shastra says if composing a poem for Tamil region, you Tamil compose Tamil.
Exactly.
So it was not opposed to the regional language. It only allowed the regional language to develop on the classifications given in the Natya Shastra.
Right.
The other most important point is in Bharata's Natya Shastra, the rasas are described as 8 so far as Natya rasas. 8 rasas, Sringara, Hasya, Karuna.
Ete Natya Rasasmritaha.
So in Tolkappiyam also, they refer to only these 8 rasas.
8 rasas.
8 rasas, Suvai, in Suvai. And also the process of realizing it through bhava, anubhava, sattvika bhava, etc., mentioned in Natya Shastra, the same thing is referred to there is a complete chapter on rasa, and that is given in the Tolgapyam, which shows that Natya Shastra has been already imbibed completely in the codification of Tolgapyam grammar. So we have both literary examples and also grammatical examples which show that Sanskrit and Tamil were together, amalgamated. And it's very difficult now to say that Tamil lived separately, isolated. There is no evidence in the available cortex. In addition, we have also got a good number of inscriptions found in the hillocks in and around Madurai, and they represent Prakrit words and Prakrit usages, and they are to be assigned to 1st, 2nd century AD. So, from the very beginning of historical period, it looks just as in all other parts of India. The language, regional dialects absorbed Natya Shastra and classical Sanskrit as constructed by Panini in his Vyakarana. Tamil also imbibed Sanskrit and used it in both classical and spoken language. Classical poetry and Padya and Gadya, in both we have the use of Sanskrit, Sanskrit ideas, Sanskrit culture, and all the great kings. We have 3 crowned rulers, Cheras, Cholas, and Pandyas, and there were a number of other chieftains. The great kings of all these 3 dynasties have performed Vedic sacrifices. For example, Karigala is one of the greatest Chola rulers. He is said to have performed a Shenachiti, in which he performed a Vedic sacrifice.
So Shenachiti is a very old Vedic altar.
Yes. Similarly, there was a Pandya, Nedunjayan. Palyagasale, there was one Pandya ruler who is called Palyagasale Muduhudimi Peruvalidi. He is called Great Peruvalidi. He is said to have performed several Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, every Chera ruler, Cheran Senguttuvan, he is said to have performed Ashwamedha Yaga. So, they were performing yagas, and there are also references to the daily routine of the kings in the Puram collection of poems, where they are said to have performed what they call the Pancha Mahayajnas. 5 yajnas,
Yes.
married, and then
which is one of the central Dharma Shastra concepts.
Yeah, Dharma Shastra is the law book.
Yes.
That reflects the lifestyle of all people of India, be it in north or in the south. So, they are the essential lifestyle of the people, and so Dharma Shastra is the base of Indian culture, external culture. Religious culture is reflected by Upanishads and other forms of expression. We have even translation of one of the Upanishads into Tamil Sangam poems. We have one piece from what you call Taittiriya Upanishad, Annam Nanindhyat Tadvratam. You see, this one is translated in one of the poems in Tamil, which says that both Nilattodu Unavenapaduvathu Nilattodu Neere is the Sangam poems. It speaks about the greatness of food, production of food, and importance that should be given to food production in Tamil, which is almost a translation of the Upanishad,
Taittiriya Upanishad. Right.
Passages. So, Dharma, Artha and Kama of all Indian culture is the base of early Tamil culture. in addition, the land was divided into 5 parts. Hilly region.
You mean the land which is described in the early poetry?
Yes.
Aham poetry as well as Puram poetry.
All poem, they always mention about the 5, what you call, division of land into hillock, highland, cultivated land, sea coast, and then forest region. It's not, this is desert region. It's not desert actually. It's where the 2 types of lands mix, and the border area, you don't know whether this is this or that. So that is called the desert region, Palai. And the presiding deity of this regions or the hilly region is Kumara Subramanya. Subramanya, he is called Muruga. He is the presiding deity of the hillock. What you call the hill forest region is presided over by Mullai is Mayon, who is Vishnu, Krishna. That's where you take the cattle for grazing and so on. Then cultivated land is the presiding deity is Indra. Indra is a Vedic god.
The Vedic god.
And then the what you call the coastal region, the presiding deity is Varuna. So the Tamils, ancient Tamils, worshipped Indra, Varuna, Krishna, and Kumara, and in the Palai region, desert region, the goddess Durga was the presiding deity. So in the field of religion, in the field of philosophy, in the field of music, in the field of you have a collection of poems called Paripadal. 30 songs have come down for the past 2000 years, the earliest collection of group. These have 3 different varieties of poems. The first part is called Devapani, that is singing the praise of Vishnu. And the second one is in praise of Kumara Subramanya. And the third one is on the Vaigai river, on the river sports form the main part of the third group. Now, except the first, the poems on Subramanya and the sports, river sports, water sports, they are all in Aham theme, Sringara poem. The most interesting point is the composer of the poem's name is known. Not only the composer of poem, it's musical composition, but who set it to music is also known. So we have 2 names, the music composer and the one who set it to music, actual music. And this is equivalent to what we now call Sahitya, Vaggeyakara, who composes the musical poem, and then who sets it to music is the singer, actual singer. So the tradition of Sahityakatta and the one who sets it to music is as old as the beginning of the Christian era, 2000 years. That's also preserved.
So it is the unity of the sung word, the song, swara and tal, and the pada.
Yes.
Which is also the essential idea in Natya Shastra. Yes. Gandharvam iti taggeyam swaratal padatmakam. So swaratal and pad must come together.
Yes. So you have in the field of music, in the field of Nataka, in the Aham Sutra of Tolkapiyam, it gives a sutra in which 2 margas are mentioned. One is Nataka Dharmi of Sanskrit. This is Nataka Vadakku in Tamil.
I see.
And another one is Ulaga Laukika Marga, Loka Marga. So these 2 things, Ulahiyal Vadakku and Nataka Vadakku, are exact tradition of
Natya Dharmi and Loka Dharmi
Lokadharma.
of the Natya
Natya.
Shastra classification.
So, absolute integration of Sanskrit with Tamil is what you see in ancient Tamil.
This is wonderful that by very specific examples and by very exact correspondences that you have shown the unity as to how people were thinking alike, how people were creating and recreating the same ideas in different parts of India. Here specifically in the northern region, the so-called Sanskrit region, and in the southern region from Tirupati right up to the Kanyakumari, which is the Tamil country. So thank you very much, sir,
Thank you.
for this most enlightening talk. My dear audience, we have had here an extremely enlightening classification shown to us through textual means about how there was a multilingual unity in the country, and diversity was one which was living in the envelope of unity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nagasawamy.
Thank you.